All right, welcome to this week's Points and Miles report here on Traveling on Everyday Spend. We have a lot to talk about. We've got to talk about Southwest and kind of catch everybody up on what all has gone on with them as we now get into the credit cards, as well as some additional information that we have on that. We got to talk about Bilt's rent day, and did it meet what we are looking for, or not quite as much, as well as some other news that we'll touch on. So appreciate you all coming in today. Want to just touch on a couple of remaining items that I had from my trip to Las Vegas. Obviously, I talked about in the last live stream how bad the start of it was. It ended up being fine for the remainder of it. Didn't win any money at Resorts World. I never do. That's why I barely spend any money there. But the thing that I thought was really good was I ended up going to the Capital One Lounge at Las Vegas, and that was my first time being there. And I was blown away by the service, the food, the cleanliness, and just the overall atmosphere. I got there on Saturday at about 11 in the morning, and it wasn't that busy at all. The service was outstanding, and it was just really impressive. I've been to the one at Dallas Fort Worth. It's not even a comparison as far as size and the look of it, but the quality was outstanding. Definitely would be the place that I would go to from now on when I'm in Vegas. It's much better than the Centurion Lounge that's there. Now, we'll see if the Sidecar Lounge ends up going to Las Vegas first in 2026. That would be something I would be interested in. Now, of course, we talked about that, and that one is going to be for people that are an hour and a half before departure versus 3 hours at the regular one. So something to look forward to, but I was really impressed by Capital One. I was also impressed with American Airlines flying back home. It is one that, for me, as being a person that likes flying Delta so much, would definitely make me look at flying American more. I will be flying them to go to San Juan in November, but overall, really interesting type of trip, but definitely kudos to the Capital One Lounge in Las Vegas. And I want to make sure before we jump in to say hello to Mr. Koku. Appreciate you stopping in. Get ready to get my credit card and points news. Really appreciate you stopping through. Ryan, thanks for stopping in. And Ryan, how are the in-laws? Yeah, it worked out okay. It's the matter of, I think we've all kind of learned that you only stay so long because it ends up becoming fish. 4 to 5 days is about the limit, and I lost 2 of the days on the front end with my flight, so it worked out okay. Hotter than Hades, where they were at, but it's the annual pilgrimage, as I call it, going out there. But thanks for asking. So let's go ahead and jump right on into what we've got for today. So the credit card offers, there's been some shifts that we've seen that's gone on. The Hilton credit cards, we still have plenty of time for all of those, so I won't even delve into that. We have till August 13th. I've done a review of those credit cards. Not much, so that would be a good opportunity to look at some of those if you wanted to kind of narrow down what might work well for you. So that would be an option. And then as far as Bank of America, we still have the Alaska Airlines credit card that is at the 50,000 bonus miles, as well as the companion fare for just the taxes and fees. Not their best offer that they've ever had, but still one worth considering. Then the Bank of America Air France, I'm still surprised that this card is still available. I actually jumped on that just before we went on to make sure that I was still not talking about this and that it was gone, but it is still there. And so if you are interested in Air France KLM, it may be something for you. Capital One, we still have the Spark Cash card, as well as the student credit cards. That is a nice touch for if you're a student, or if you have a student that's going to be looking to go and start with credit cards. It's a good start to look at. Then for Chase, we've had some adjustments. Of course, we still have the Sapphire credit cards as well for the Reserve, the Business Reserve, and the Personal card. The Aeroplan card is still there at 85,000 points. That is not showing up on Chase's site. It shows up on Aeroplan site, and I'll have a link for that. 85,000 points versus the normal 75,000 points. And then we have the World of Hyatt credit card, 2 category 1 to 4 free nights with $4,000 in spend. You can get the regular 25,000 points on top of that if you're going to be spending $12,000 within the first 6 months. That one runs through August the 28th. As I've mentioned before, the main thing when you're dealing with any free night certificates is to have a plan before you take these on. It can be an excellent value, but if it's not planned well, you risk not getting as much value from it, and you also risk the possibility of end up losing them if you don't meet that time period within that first year. Chase, as far as the United cards, we're down to just the personal United Quest card, which is their best offer that they've had. And it runs through August the 20th. And then now we obviously have the business cards, which basically the biggest deal is you're getting the PQPs now with that. So if you are someone that's looking for status, it may be something that would be beneficial when you're looking at the business cards. We still have Virgin Red with Synchrony. The 60,000 boarding points is a marked improvement from what they normally are. We have the Citi Advantage Platinum Select card. And then Barclays, that was another one that I checked to make sure that it still actually existed, still does. And then Wells Fargo One Key cards, like I said before, if you are not, if you're looking at ones with Hotels.com, Vrbo, Expedia, those are cards that you should at least consider if you're looking at that route. And I want to make sure to say hello to Daryl. Appreciate you coming in from Chicago. Beautiful place when you don't have to necessarily be there and you're just enjoying the time. So thanks for coming in, Devel. Really appreciate it. And what's the points? Sorry, underrated, I believe, but maybe I've gotten lucky. No, I think that other than that bad trip going there when everything just seemed to be falling apart, the flight back, flight to Phoenix for the short flight and back here to the Midwest was fine. It's something I would definitely consider, especially because I'm so fond of Alaska miles, and doing it with American is an easy conversion to do it for. But I hope if it has been lucky, I hope it continues for you. What's the points? And always talk about his channel. Definitely check him out. Really has some excellent content on it. And call me Lonnie. Happy Friday to you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm behind on Lonnie's last video, so I'm going to be looking at that this evening. Definitely check him out. When it comes to the different channel, these creators that are giving us all reviews on these cards, everybody's got a different spin on it, and everybody's unique in their own way. So I always encourage you to check out everybody that is producing that on there. And what did I like about the Air France cover side of the sub? It's not one that I necessarily like. I just find it interesting that they've had it out so long. It's not a card that I would end up getting, so I hope I wasn't making it seem like it's a great card. It would be one only in the case if you're truly flying them often, maybe for that silver status that you're going to get at the very beginning of it. But no, outside of the sub, that's not a card I definitely would be looking at in my case. So I hope I didn't make it come out that way. Now, as far as the transfer bonuses, we've got limited numbers that we have. Avianca, 15%. They're on purchasing it. This is through their website, though. You won't see this on Amex. I got a link for that through July 31st, and we'll be talking about Avianca in a little bit also as well. Chase with Marriott, 50% on through August 31st. Citi, leading hotels of the world, 25% through August the 13th. So not a whole bunch there. Now, as far as the points and miles opportunities, I always try to give this disclaimer. I'm only going to hit on the newest ones or ones that are ending. I try to pack the description with as many links as possible from what's out there. So I always encourage you to make sure to take a look at that. But as far as what we have right now, we have the Southwest with their flash sale that ends tonight at 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. And it's for starting at $39 There's different dates that this applies to, and this is how Southwest breaks it down. We'll obviously be talking a lot about Southwest tonight. Continental US, August the 12th through January 26th of 2026. If you're doing international to international, Hawaii or Puerto Rico, August 17th through January 26th. And if you're coming from Hawaii, Puerto Rico, and international, August 17th through January 26th. And then if you're doing the inter island for Hawaii, August the 17th through November 5th. Wyndham also has a flash sale with an up to 20% discount, with 15% being in the US or Canada, or up to 20% in Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Africa. Now that is going to be through July 28th, but you can end up taking the hotel stay through December 31st. You do, of course, need to have a Wyndham account to do it. But it's not for all of their hotels. It is for participating hotels. So definitely check out the landing page if you're interested in that to see if any of those fall for what you're looking at. Southwest, again, we also have the ability to buy points with a 45% discount. It is just a one-tier deal, 2,000 through 60,000 miles at 45%. That only brings it down to 1.65 cents per mile. So it's not ideal. It runs through July 27th. The main thing that you're going to want to look at that is that's probably going to be a topping off at best, or unless you've somehow found a great deal, and that's normally not the easiest to do with Southwest. Avianca, buying miles with up to 160% bonus. We always see these triple-digit numbers when it comes to Avianca. We have all the way until August the 11th for this. It is a three-tier system, but it is very tight. 1,000 to 20,000 points miles will already get you 140%. 21,000 to 50,000 gets you 150%, and then 51,000 to the 200,000 mile cap is 160%. That'll bring you to 1.27 cents per mile, which is competitive as far as a baseline. But as we always talk about, it's just a baseline. Your ability to get the best deal for you and your family is always going to be the most important aspect. Then we also have, I'm going to jump to Air Canada, 95% bonus ends August the 2nd. If you trigger the 95%, which is 80,000 miles to 500,000 miles, that's 95% and will get you to 1.37 cents per mile. So that might be an option for you as well. That makes it relatively competitive. So that's what we have for that. And then let's look at some quick notes that I've got for you. The United introducing a basic Polaris. Now, during a United Q2 call, the Wall Street Journal asked if a bare bones Polaris would be coming. And the response was that United has leaned heavily into segmentation of our revenues, and not everybody wants the full experience. As we all know of how the airlines are, which as well as many other industries, we've already been hearing about this and seeing it from Delta with their Delta One. And this is not surprising that we're going to probably see a bare bones basic Polaris. What's the key thing that they'll end up stripping? You won't get the lounge access. That will be the easiest thing that they will strip from it, let alone some probably perks and luxuries to it. But this is the trend we're seeing, unfortunately. I've not had the opportunity to fly Polaris or Delta One as of yet. So I'm curious, if you are a person that does fly Polaris, what's your thoughts about the possibility and the likelihood, more likely, that this ends up becoming the reality of what's going to happen? Then we have Citi Shop Day. Now this is August the 5th through August the 6th. You'll need to add a browser extension, but you could do it from their website, and you'll need to enroll one of your Citi cards. What they are promoting is that you can earn up to 20 times points. Now, of course, that will be on some very select vendors, but it's going to be worth taking a look at if you have a Citibank credit card and looking for thank you for the points. That will be something to take a look at. I'll have a link for the landing page that they have there right now, although there's not a whole bunch of information and insight of what you're going to be able to see at this moment, but I'm sure they'll build upon it. Then we have the Tommie and Thompson Hollywood hotels. If you're aware of this, the hotels just only opened back in 2021. And in October of 2024, just 3 years later, the Tommie Hotel went to Marriott, and it's now called the Hollywood Volume. Well, the Thompson Hollywood will now also depart and become part of Marriott's Autograph collection. Not necessarily sure of what happened for this to break up so fast. Hyatt did do a Dream acquisition, and there is a Dream Hollywood, which is almost across the street from Tommie and Thompson Hollywood hotels. Not saying that's the reason why it happened, but we don't really have any news for that. But if you're a person that's been to the hotels, they are now going to be completely Marriott hotels for you to take a look at. The airport automated wheelchairs, I thought this was interesting when I came across it. And it's not something I've seen, but it makes perfect sense. So back in 2024, Miami Airport started with a partnership with American Airlines. And at that time, they were doing they've gotten these automated wheelchairs, and basically 120 people per day were using them. And for the automated wheelchair, basically it has like a small, almost looks like a phone, not as big as a tablet, where you basically are saying where you want to go, and then it will take you to that spot. Now, obviously, they're kind of scripted in of going to baggage claim or to another gate, that type of thing. The only example that they showed, and I was a 2024 video I was watching, it has sensors around it. The issue that I see with it, though, is everything that I saw of it was when it was not crowded. It doesn't go that fast. And of course, it's trying to make sure that it doesn't hit or bump into anybody. So I've not seen it in action. I'm hoping that I get to see it when I get to Miami on my way to San Juan to see how it really ends up doing in a regular setting. Detroit has now actually partnered with that same automated wheelchair company, and they're currently testing it just in the McNamara terminal. And once again, I've not seen that over there as of yet, but it's interesting because of the fact that I knew that all airlines provided it, but I didn't know specifically that there is a law that requires them to do it, which makes sense. The 1986 Air Carrier Access Act requires all airlines to provide free wheelchair service for anyone that needs it. And of course, there's probably many cases of where it is a case that it's been abused a bit. And back in a 2024 article, Frontier CEO said that it costs them $30 to $35 per request. Now, of course, that's not round trip. That's normally just get to the gate or the gate to the baggage claim or such. Now, that numbers would add up. So it's not surprising to see if this may catch on. So I'll be curious of seeing how that part particularly works. Miami will stay there. And I didn't even have to put much writing for this. You all can let me know your thoughts. $27.50 bottomless mimosas at Sushi Maki, 2-hour maximum. This screams that there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to be flying out of Miami. A 2-hour maximum to drink mimosas. If you're doing this, you are probably doing some serious power drinking and for this. Now, maybe I'm overestimating the issue, but I'll be curious to see what the news is as this goes on and how long it lasts. I'll be curious of what you all's thoughts are on it as well. Another item, JetBlue and TAP Portugal. Now, they just only started that reciprocal partnership just this year. Well, it's going to already be over as of September 30th for it. And so we don't necessarily know what happened for it. I have not seen any specifics for it, but that's kind of where we stand right now. And I see that what's the point said, Life Miles have the worst cancel fees. Sadly, though, at least they have a subscription plan if you use them a lot. Yes, I think that between that subscription plan and if you're going to use it a lot, maybe one of the credit cards for the Life Miles credit cards may be beneficial. It's definitely not been something I've looked at, so I'm curious if anyone has the card or the subscription plan. I think that it could be useful. Definitely one of the more versatile currencies that we have to work with. So let's talk about TSA and their Families on the Fly program. So this is a new campaign that will create a dedicated family lane to what they are saying to enhance hospitality during the airport security screening experience. Now, this is only going to be starting at Charlotte as well as Orlando to start with. Now, the program will also be rolled out at additional airports, including John Wayne Airport, which is in Orange County, Honolulu, Charleston International Airport, Jacksonville, Rhode Island, San Juan. TPA escapes me. I don't know why I forgot what that is. I'm sure somebody will end up telling me what TPA is. And then recent changes, obviously we've seen where TSA has ditched the shoe off policy. They've also now have an honor lane at 11 airports for uniformed military members to be able to go through. And we're hearing rumors that we might see that liquid policy ending sooner than later, which would obviously be an excellent benefit to be able to see for that. And I see that, it is a sad note for Portugal for what happened. We obviously, anything that ends up giving us reciprocity agreements where we're able to use those points or miles across the board is always what we want to see, but that definitely didn't last long. I think it only lasted about 6-7 months, and that was it. So they are definitely shutting that down. So let's touch briefly on the Premium Alaska Airlines card, which we know is coming. We've heard about it being coming in the summer. Now we are hearing that we're going to see this in next month in August. So as far as the information we have currently related to this card, it's less rumor and probably more likely, but the devil's going to be in the details. It looks like it's going to be a $395 annual fee credit card. You're going to get 3x on foreign purchases outside of the US, which has some very interesting aspect to that. Then you have 3x on dining, bars, nightclubs, and fast food restaurants. That's the wording that they're using, which is interesting because it's one thing if you're doing dining and maybe the coding when you're at a bar or a nightclub might trigger a restaurant. It'll be interesting to see if when they're using those terms of bars and nightclubs, that if it is truly bars and nightclubs, not dining. I'm assuming it is because of them being specific with that. Then we're looking at the Global Companion Award certificates, waived award ticket fees, and then lounge passes, not lounge membership, but lounge passes. I think this has some strong potential to be an excellent premium airline credit card. But I think there's a couple things we'll have to find out. We obviously now know that the companion pass on the regular Alaska Airlines credit card can now be used to fly on Hawaiian Airlines for their continental US to Hawaii. So even if you're looking to take that long flight from JFK to Hawaii on Hawaiian Airlines, that is now appears to be an option. And will this just be for economy for the Global Companion Pass? And will we have the ability to upgrade like we do on the current Companion Pass at the regular credit card? I would hope so, but we'll have to find out about that. On another note, we now know that Hawaiian miles will be fully integrated with Alaska miles as of October 1st. Now, Hawaiian Airlines has said that there'll be more info in August. They've also said that account actions will be limited during the final week of September. Outside of that, if you are doing anything with your Hawaiian account, make sure you do it before then. We don't necessarily know what the limited actions would mean, but we've got enough heads up on it. But there is no risk to losing your miles of Hawaiian as through the conversion. So we are now basically looking at 1 year since we first heard about this merger. And I don't know about you all, but seems to have been one of the smoothest major mergers in how they did it in the time frame that they've done this that I've ever seen. But I'm curious if you all have seen better, or maybe am I overvaluing how well they did this? But I thought they did an excellent job with that. And so what's the point? Said the trouble with the Avianca card is that the benefits don't seem to extend far beyond the subscription benefit, which really only covers the annual fee, other than the basic status flying Avianca. That is true. I don't know what all they could really offer for them. Uh, and I'll be curious if what your thought is. I don't know what they could, too much more that they can probably do with it on the card. I guess some lounge access, although I thought the one did give you something with lounge access, but I definitely could be wrong with that. And the Alaska lounge passes could tip the scale for me in ditching the AA exec card. Yeah, they are definitely obviously upgrading. I'm very curious to see as they uh, get the lounges out in Hawaii as well as they're in Seattle of what's going on with it. But I think they've done an outstanding job, and I think that card uh, they've given me hope and optimism that that card could be everything that we hear it probably could be, versus what we've seen with some other opportunities that have not necessarily done as well. Now let's take a look at the Eat Around Town. Now this is not new. I've only just kind of came across it, but could be a very nice dining deal to collect Marriott points. And it begins with their promotion that they're doing right now. So Eat Around Town is by Marriott Bonvoy, and there are more than 20,000 US restaurants. The current promo is if you have 3 qualifying meals in the first 60 days of signing up, then you trigger these points. What I thought was different about this and is a nice touch is that the qualifying meal, while it has to be at least $30, that $30 includes the tax and tip. Normally we don't see, when we see these type of deals, they are not ones where we're talking about that the tip, let alone the taxes, let alone the tip is included. So it runs through September 30th. You'll get 1,000 points for the first eligible meal. You'll get 2,000 points on the second, and then you'll get 3,000 points on the third. Now, this there is a second offer that they're doing that doesn't have an end date. We don't necessarily know if this is going to be the new part of that package, and that is if you, for the ones that you can make a reservation for, if you do the reservation and you just show up and you fulfill that reservation, you'll get 200 points. And it is capped at 8 times a month, but that still could be as much as 1,600 Marriott Bonvoy points. You can join for free, and you just need to make sure that you provide your Marriott Bonvoy number and link it with a debit or a credit card. It doesn't have anything else to do with Marriott Bonvoy cards or anything. Bonvoy members will earn 4x, and Bonvoy Elite members will earn 6x. That's a pretty good turnaround on for your food. You can obviously stack this, as we've seen with Bilt on how they do their program, whether it's 4x with your American Express Gold card, maybe it's 5x if your Citi Custom Cash is going to be specific for restaurants and dining, 3x on the Capital Saver. And then, of course, you could be looking at the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant to get the additional 4x and to use towards that $300 credit. So all options that are available for that. Now let's move to the diamond match that I mentioned, and this is truly the easiest one that I've seen to get you top tier status with any hotel, and that is going to be for Wyndham. And so what we have for Wyndham is it's their match status. It's on their Wyndham page. And once you get approval for your match, you do have to stay 10 nights at a Wyndham location over the first 90 days, but you keep the status through the end of the following year. Now, the key matching opportunities that I see with this is if you are a Hilton Gold or Diamond member, you qualify for qualify for the diamond match. As we all know, you get Hilton Gold for having the platinum. So that's pretty easy for having that. Or if you have the business card or a couple of other Hilton cards, you'll get gold status automatically. Marriott, it's for the gold, platinum, titanium, and the ambassador. Once again, that gold one could be easy for a lot of different people. Now, the world of Hyatt is not quite as easy. You'll get platinum if you're a discoverist or an explorist, but you have to be globalist to get diamond, which seems to be the toughest one to be able to do that because not everybody gets that globalist status. But the easiest one that I believe there is the IHG credit card. Platinum and diamond elite status will get you diamond status with Wyndham. Platinum status comes with just having that $99, $95 or $99 credit card that I'm very fond of. Very easy to be able to get this diamond status match for that part. So what does come with diamond status with Wyndham, and is it even worth it? Well, normally it requires 40 nights in a year, or you could have the Wyndham Business Earner credit card where you automatically get diamond status. You'll get 20% bonus points on the stays, a complimentary snack or beverage when you're checking in at select hotels. But the real thing is going to be the access to suite upgrades. It's, of course, subject to availability. And then you can gift your Wyndham Rewards Gold status one time per year to someone else. But it's the suites that I think are interesting, especially if you're not a person that normally frequents Wyndham. But this is one that I think that if you ever looked at doing it, this may be that opportunity because of how easy you can get top tier status with Wyndham. So as I always talk about, I always want to kind of share some new hotels so that you are aware of some other opportunities to be able to use your points in your miles. So I've got 4 of them to kind of touch on with you. The first one is the Fairmont Udaipur, I believe, Palace. Now this is in India, but the setting of it is amazing. It's set atop the ancient Aravalli Hills, which is a 350-mile long range, and the elevation is 1,000 to 3,000 feet. 327 guest rooms, 8 dining options, 7 event venues, all ages, event center, pretty much an all-inclusive as far as opportunities at the hotel. $286. This is an Accor Live Limitless because of it being Fairmont. And one that I've been looking at a little bit more as far as Accor Live Limitless and the opportunities with that. 2,000 Accor Live Limitless points currently is about $47 US. And of course, it fluctuates based upon the market rate. Then the second one is the Latala Hotel and Spa in Biarritz. It is an all Accor Live Limitless M Gallery collection, which I had not heard of, but there are only 120, give or take, of these luxury boutique hotels, and this is the newest one. It has a great view. There's a couple of pictures you can see of it, and I don't think I'll pronounce this is correct, the Côte des Baques. Might have that wrong. Beautiful water location. 149 guest rooms, rooftop restaurant, cocktail bar, and spa. This is going to be starting at $334 a night, or once again, 2,000 Accor Live Limitless points for $47 credit. Then you have the Cambria Hotel Templeton. Wanted to kind of bring down the number for you. In Paso Robles, California. Now, this is in wine country. 132 guest rooms. It has an on-site restaurant serving the regional wines, pool with cabanas, 12 EV charging stations. This is just starting at $102 per night, or 30,000 points. And this is choice points that you'll be able to use for that. And then the last one, which I'm going to take all the way up the scale as far as price, is the Lake Como Edition. This is going to open September 9th. This was previously the Britannia Excelsior Hotel, but it is only the 21st edition location that they have. And 145 guest rooms, complimentary breakfast, which for these edition locations, normally does not even have breakfast, regardless of your status. You would be looking at the shoulder season in March, starting at $700 a night. But if you're going anywhere in, say, September in high season, $1,424 to $1,980 per night. Not a place I'll be going even on points, because that is even going to cost you 191,000 points per night. But if you look at where it sits, I mean, it literally sits right on Lake Como. It is a beautiful location, but man, is it really expensive. So wanted to share that with you. So now let's take a look at Southwest Airlines. And I want to kind of take this portion for people that may not have kept up with all the things going on with Southwest, to bring you all the way up to speed of what we have right now, because they've been very busy as far as the different changes that have gone on with Southwest. So I'm hoping that this will help you, help everybody know what's going on. So let's start with the assigned seating. Now, what I keep calling the cattle call is about to end. So beginning with the January 27th, 2026 flights, the assigned seating begins. But you will see those flights and you can be able to book those starting July 29th. So it's fast approaching. The seating options are going to be where you've got wanna get away is now basic, is not basic, it is basic economy with no seat assignment. The wanna get away is now choice, and this will include a standard choice seat. The anytime is the choice preferred, where you can select a seat closer to the front. And then business select is the choice extra, and it includes a free extra legroom seat. Now, when we talk about these seats, there's really only 3 levels. You either have the extra legroom seats, which are going to be in the first few rows, and then a couple of spots near the exit rows where you can have some additional legroom. Then you have the preferred, which doesn't give you any additional legroom, and it basically is squeezed in between the 2 areas for a small area, and the only benefit you're getting from that is being closer to the front of the plane. There is no other benefit with that seat. And then you get down to the quote unquote basic seat. It basically, it is the seat that it covers the rest of the plane, but it is the same seat as the preferred. No difference. You're just paying for location. Now, as far as the boarding process, this is where I think that this is not going to go well, and probably will make some people, maybe even myself, wish for the whole cattle call if you're going to fly Southwest. So the boarding process is 8 groups. Groups 1 and 2 will be the A-list preferred, which is their top tier loyalists, choice extra fares, and upgrades that people have to extra legroom seats. That's going to be in groups 1 and 2. Then groups 3 through 5 are going to be the choice preferred flyers, the A-list members that did not get the extra space seat. And then group 5 is all Southwest credit card holders. So group 5 will be literally a mess when you're talking about where every Southwest credit card holder gets group 5 access. Then group 6 through 8 are passengers that are flying choice or basic. And of course, the basic economy flyer will be the last aboard. Now, I mentioned the seating setup for this. Let me take one. Excuse me. So the extra legroom seats, they're basically slated for 46 seats. First 30 seats that are in the front, then the 16 seats that are around the exit seats. These will give you 5 additional inches compared to the standard seats in legroom, not the rest of the measurements of the seat though. Preferred seating, there's basically 45 of them, and those are, like I mentioned, are going to be essentially in between those 2 extra legroom seats. Once again, that is only for you to be closer to the front in the plane. There is no benefit to the seat versus a standard seat. Then the standard seat is everybody else, basically in the back of the plane. So let's talk about what each of these will get you. So if you are doing Rewards Plus in Premier Business, so these are the credit cards, then you can select a standard seat within 48 hours of departure. If you are a A-list, if you have a priority card or a performance business card, you can select a standard or preferred seat at the time of booking and extra legroom seats within 48 hours of departure. And then if you're an A-list preferred flyer, you can select any seat at the time of booking, including the extra legroom seat. So those are what you're looking at for that. Now, we've already, as you all probably know, we've obviously done away with the no cost checked bags. This began back in May. So right now, first check bag is $35, $45 for a second check bag, and then every other one, third or more, is going to be $150. That seems to be pretty much the market rate for it, but obviously a huge change for everybody. So who gets free checked bags anymore? Well, if you're Business Select, even still right now, you can get 2 free checked bags. If you're A-list preferred, you can get 2 free checked bags. If you're A-list or a Southwest credit card holder, you'll get 1 free checked bag. Now, what the good thing about this, and we'll have to see how this goes, is that this status that you do with this for the checked bags, it also applies to up to 8 companions that are with the primary card holder on the same reservation. They get the same check bag benefits. Now, inter-island check bags is a bit different there in Hawaii because obviously Southwest still has a presence there. So Hawaiian residents, for their first and second check bags, they're free when they're basically flying inter-island. The third bag is going to be $50. If you're a non-Hawaiian resident, $15 on the first bag, $20 on the second bag, and then $50 on the third check bag. A-list people flying the inter-islands will get the first bag free, second bag for $15, and the third bag for $50. And then if you're A-list preferred, first and second bag will be free, and the third bag will cost you $50. So that is specific to the inter-islands for Hawaii. Now, we've got the credit cards, and we now know that all the personal credit cards have elevated offers for 100,000 Southwest miles. That is unfortunately going with a significant jump in the annual fee of each of those personal cards, as well as it's happened with the business credit cards. But what are you going to get for that increase? And this is going to be a bit disappointing for a lot of people, but let's kind of walk through this. So the Southwest Rapid Rewards Plus card, which is their entry-level one, was normally $69. It's gone up 43% to $99. With that card, you're getting that, being able to get that free check bag. That's really where you're going to make your money back on this. If you fly enough with that card and you're paying $99, if you do normally get check bags and you take 2 or 3 flights, you probably will break even. Won't necessarily feel that way because we've all been so used to there being no cost on the check bags, but that is the new normal we have. You'll get the standard seat selection within 48 hours of departure, group 5 boarding, which we talked about. You'll get the 3,000 points and 10% discount each card anniversary with the card, 25% back on the in-flight purchases. You'll get a 10,000 companion pass qualifying points boost. Now, the perks that are going to end as of December 31st, which is not going to be surprising, is the 2 early bird check-ins per year. Obviously, with them changing the assigned seating, this was going to go away, and so that will end as of December 31st. The multipliers are also taking a significant change. As of December 31st, there will no longer be the 2x on local transit, commuting, internet, cable, phone, select streaming, as well as the Rapid Rewards hotel and car rental locations. That will go away as of December 31st. So the question is, what are you going to get instead? Well, this is the part that's not good. You're going to get 2x on the first combined $5,000 spend at gas stations and grocery stores, which is so having that cap is not ideal. And once again, most people, when they're going to have, if you've got this card, you probably have other cards where you're generating better points for gas stations and groceries. But that is what we're looking at now, so with a cap. The one positive is that this card used to have a foreign transaction fee. They did remove that. So now there is no foreign transaction fee with this credit card. The next one is the Southwest Rapid Rewards Premier Card. Used to be $99. It's gone up 50% to $149. So what do you get with this card? Standard seat and preferred seat selection within 48 hours of departure, 6,000 points and 15% flight discount each card anniversary. The new multipliers are similar, but it's the first combined $8,000 in spend. Now this one is for grocery stores and restaurants. And you'll also get, for every $5,000 you spend, you'll earn 1,500 tier qualifying points. The rest of what the Plus card had also comes to this card. So how about when we, excuse me, when we move to the top personal card, which is the priority, excuse me, used to be $149. It's gone up 54% to $229. Now, you'll be able to do standard and preferred seat selection at the booking. You can try to get the extra legroom seat within 48 hours of departure. 7,500 points each card anniversary. The new multipliers is they've raised it from 3x for Southwest flights to 4x, and you'll have 2x on gas stations and restaurants, and there is no annual cap for that. Not a whole lot you're getting for a 54% increase, unfortunately. But we'll have to see for people that are loyalists if that, knowing that you can get that standard or preferred seat is helpful. But I'll be curious if there might be some people that don't mind going to sit in the back in some certain situations. Then we get to the business cards. The Rapid Rewards Premier Business goes from $99 to $149. 50% increase. It is very similar to the personal credit card for the Plus card. As far as standard and preferred seat selection, you'll have to wait until you're within 48 hours. That first check bag for free. 6,000 points after each card anniversary. The 25% on in-flight purchases. The perks that end on December 31st with this card is 2 early bird check-ins per year, and you also lose the $500 fee credit for point transfers. The multipliers that are going to end are similar to what we talked about with the Plus card, 2x on local transit, commuting, as well as the Rapid Rewards hotel and car rental. That goes away. The new multipliers is that same $8,000 cap on the first combined spend for 2x at gas stations and restaurants. Now, you'll also still be able, you will be able to get 2,000 tier qualifying points with $5,000 in spend. That's up from the 1,500 that was previously with the card. But that is all you're getting. Then for the Southwest Rapid Rewards Performance Business Card, you got a 50% increase from $199 to $299, a $300 airline credit card. Now, compare that to what we're talking about with Alaska potentially at $395. So what you're going to get with this is that you're going to get the standard and preferred seat selection, the extra legroom seat within 48 hours of departure, 9,000 points after each card anniversary. The 25% back on the in-flight purchases is new to the card, but that should have already been there, to be honest. Now, the perks that are ending, the 4 upgraded flights per year is gone on the boardings. $500 fee credit for the point transfer goes away, as well as up to the 365 in-flight credits per year. That also goes away. The multipliers going away, didn't have a whole lot with it to begin with, but 2x on the local transit commuting, as well as the Rapid Rewards hotel and car rental, that all goes away. The new multipliers are 2x at gas stations, restaurants, and hotels booked directly with the card will get you 2x. The That's about for that. Now, remaining the same, you're going to get 2x for every $5,000 spent. You'll be earning, I'm sorry, you'll get 2,500 tier qualifying points for $5,000 in spend. That's up from the 1,500 that was there before. But that is it. I think that uh, Southwest has taken a major step back for me as a person that was looking forward to the assigned seating. The credit cards does have something to it to try to get that first check bag for free, but that is really all we're getting the credit cards for. And that's not really going to be ideal to be looking at. But I'll be curious of you all's thoughts on that. I thought they did a really bad job on what that value of the cards will be. But let's move to Bilt, because Bilt seems to always do Bilt type of things. And this one is a little bit of that, I'll say. But as far as the primer, I think most of us who've dealt with Bilt at all already know this. The normal multipliers are 3x on dining, 2x on travel, 1x on everything else, including rent, if you make the qualifying transactions. On Bilt rent day, they double the dining to 6, double the travel to 4, and then 2x on everything else. It is, for me, when I use the Bilt credit card, I only use it on rent day. I use it to, if I'm going to schedule some travel, maybe I'll consider using it through there. I'll definitely use the 2x to pay utilities and some insurance costs to reach that 5 transaction minimum that's required. And of course, we're going to see how that changes as the new cards come out next year, as they try to do everything they can to be able to make back some of this money. Now, so August the 1st, 24 hours. The interesting thing that you keep in mind is that it's normally 12 a.m. August the 1st Eastern Standard Time, and it's through 11:59 p.m. normally Pacific Standard Time. So you really are getting a full 24 hours and a little bit more. As far as the Bilt Neighborhood Cafe, if you're near there in New York, complimentary coffee and cookies there August the 1st from 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Mammon. Now, the rent-free game show, this one involves comedian Kel Mitchell, Keenan and Kel, which if depending on your age, and depending if you got kids as well, you probably have seen that on Nickelodeon. So he's on there with the Bilt founder. You'll need to play this game by 3 p.m. on August the 1st. It is a Family Feud style game. Top 10 players will be revealed at 4 p.m. and you become rent winners up to $2,500 per person. The next 100 members will get 1,000 points, and then the next 500 members will get 100 points. So it's a pretty fun game, and maybe you might get lucky or catch a streak and be able to get that free rent. And yes, so let's move to the complimentary fitness add-ons. Now, this is, once again, I always try to remind people so that you don't miss out on anything that Bilt gives for free. These are fitness add-ons that are complimentary. It's not specific to rent day. These are always available for you to be able to do with the program. And that's the complimentary shake at Barry's for the fuel bar locations. You'll also get 2x Bilt points, the BFT 3x Bilt points, Core Power Yoga, complimentary yoga mat and towel rental, also 3x Bilt points, Cycle Bar, complimentary shoe rental, 3x Bilt points, Pure Bar, 3x Bilt points, Rumble Boxing, you get the glove rental plus 3x Bilt points. Soul Cycle will normally provide you complimentary shoe rental and a bottle of water, 3x on the Bilt points. Y7 Studio, complimentary mat and towel rental, 3x Bilt points. And then last but not least, Yoga 6, 3x Bilt points. Now, the complimentary class for the rent day fitness with Barry's high intensity interval training HIIT, that is going to be available at 10 locations. You'll book through the Bilt app, and you'll get a complimentary post-workout shake. The scheduling starts at 11:50 a.m. tomorrow, for gold and platinum members, and then at noon for everyone else. Soul Cycle, very similar. You'll be able, they have 50 plus centers, 45-minute ride. There's 700 spots available. All members can receive a complimentary bike in the theme class when booking directly through the Bilt app. Once again, this will open up at 11:50 a.m. tomorrow for gold and platinum as well, noon for everyone else. But make sure to keep in mind that these classes can no longer be canceled. If you no-show, you're going to pay $30 for that. So just be careful if you're looking at that Soul Cycle ride. So now let's talk about these redemptions. So the redemption this time, now last month we had gift cards, which was very underwhelming. Avianca is the one for today, for this month, which I say is a little bit better. It's going to be effective August the 1st at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I mentioned, runs through 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Disregard what I've got there about the gift cards. But if you're blue, you'll get 20% discount on the redemption. Silver gets 40% for the Avianca redemption, 60% for the gold, and 100% for the platinum. The reason I'm a bit underwhelmed by this is because Avianca miles are so easy to get from so many different sources. But if you are a platinum member and you've got a lot of points stashed, then that could be something that really does provide value for you. But that's what that is all we have as far as the kind of travel redemption part. Now, make sure if you're involved with the Bilt rewards, make sure to check your app between now through August the 1st. Seems to be a targeted offer where you can use your points for rent. Now, I don't know what the redemption rate is on it, but it is targeted. So just take a look at it. Make sure you don't miss anything for you to be able to take a look at. Now, we mentioned that Kel is going to be doing the Family Feud style game. And of course, when you're on there, there's a reason why they're on there. And that is because Kel has that burger festival there in Brooklyn, New York. And you can get the tickets for $20. They're normally $27 or 1,500 Bilt points. Now, same thing as the other ones, gold and platinum, 11:50 a.m. You can start buying if you want to go, and noon for everyone else. This next one, unfortunately, already went on sale, and I bet they're probably out of the tickets. I unfortunately could not get into my Bilt app. That is one, I don't know if you all are having this issue as well. Ever since they've changed how the app is supposed to update itself when you log in to it, and so that it's doing that, this has gone on for a few months. This today, I've just had an enormous problem getting into it. But they have an Auberge concert series, and this goes with the whole new program of the Home Away from Home program. So the Auberge has a resort collection, and this particular one that this is at Primlin, which is in the Virginia Blue Ridge Mountains. And it includes, over this 2-day thing, an intimate concert with Maren Morris. Now, fortunately, the tickets went on sale at 9 a.m. this morning, with the bookings limited to 100. More than likely, it's gone. But if you are a person that is a Maren Morris fan, and if you've got the points, take a look and see if there might be something still available. Like I said, I couldn't get into mine to be able to know that for sure. And so that is what we have. Of course, we've got the Bilt dining as well as the neighborhood comedy. That hasn't changed. The only unfortunate part was that I was unable, because I couldn't open up the app, to be able to put down the detailed list like I normally do each month. So I apologize for that. I just could not get in. So want to make sure if anybody's got any questions, thoughts, or concerns for that. Vincent, thank you so much for the $1.99. I really appreciate the donation, really do. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming in today. And just want to make sure if anybody's got anything that we need to talk about. I've unfortunately been way behind on getting videos out. Started a new position at my current employer, didn't change employers, but just been bogged down with work. I'm hoping to get some things out next week to for that. And so make sure to take a look for that. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing if you found any benefit with this, and consider joining the membership advisory board that we have. I do a live stream for them every week, just for them to kind of bring them up to speed, take questions and all. So consider doing that as well. And cannot thank you all enough for spending your Friday night with me. I know there's a lot of places you could be able to spend your time, and I really appreciate it and thankful for that. And I will go ahead and get this on out, and I will talk with you all soon. Take care of yourselves, and I'll talk with you later.